I wanted to share some of the best concealers I've ever tried with you guys. I love doing these occasional top product videos where I share with you guys my top picks because I've just tried so many products over the course of my YouTube career and over my lifetime of being obsessed with makeup. So I really wanted to just narrow it down, and today I wanted to share with you guys some concealers that I just truly feel like are game changers, and they really make such a difference in my makeup routine. These are products that I would recommend to family and friends, and they just never let me down. So I've got 6 formulas in front of me that I'm absolutely obsessed with, 3 of which are more lightweight, great for every day. The other 3 I still use on an everyday basis, but I specifically love them for more glamorous occasions. So let's just get right into it. The first concealer that I knew was going to be in this video is the NYX Bear with Me Concealer Serum. This is my #1 concealer of the year. I started wearing this I think last November and I haven't stopped since. It has been my go-to concealer for months and months and months. And I am somebody who tries makeup for a living. I love to switch up my routine, but this is something that has stayed so consistent in my routine. So this actually has a pump, which is kind of interesting. So you do have to apply it to the back of the hand to end up putting it on your face. I just go directly onto the back of my hand with my sponge and apply it that way. I love how lightweight this is. It's also hydrating. I don't find that it creases or budges all day, but it gives me coverage, almost a little bit of a glow. It's not luminous, but it just looks healthy under the eyes. I love this one so much. I reach for this for both everyday and glamorous occasions, but it does have a little bit more of a creamy skincare type feeling formula that I absolutely love. I also find that this works well over blemishes, which is great. So this one was the first concealer I thought of when planning this video. It's currently my top favorite. Next up is one that's also from the drugstore. It's this right here. It's the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. So I know they also have the original Camo one. For me, that's just a little bit too drying when comparing to this one. But this still has such a great longevity to it that I love to use this when I want major coverage, but I want it to kind of look skin-like, but I want that longevity. I feel like this has a little more coverage than the NYX one, and it's a little bit of a thicker formula, but it doesn't look or feel heavy on the skin, which I really appreciate. This one has a typical twist-up applicator. It reminds me of Tarte Shape Tape in the sense that it's a little bit more of like a beefy packaging and a larger applicator, so just wanted to point that out as well. I love this one. I love that it's from the drugstore, and I do find that this one wears really well all day, so it's really versatile that way. This next concealer is such an iconic one, and for good reason. The Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. This truly just never fails me. I love to use this one for more of a precise application because it has a very small doe foot applicator. I find that it's easy to apply not only under the eyes, but also in the T-zone if I want to sculpt a little bit. Something else I love about this formula is if you let it sit on the skin, and you can do this with a lot of formulas, but this specific formula, this works really well with. If I'm doing an everyday look, I'll just blend it out immediately. But if I'm wanting to use this for more of a glam look, this formula is actually really good if you let it sit in the areas that you want a little more coverage. So if I let it sit under the eyes for just a little bit and kind of let it dry down a bit, it still blends out but leaves gorgeous coverage and has even more of like a brightness and pop to it, which is really helpful for under the eyes and also down the center of the face. I learned that trick from Patrick Ta with this concealer specifically, and I love this one. I feel like this also works across a lot of different skin types. There's also great undertones and tones in this formula as well. So if you're a working makeup artist, this is a great concealer formula to look into because it's just so versatile that way, and it really will never let you down. The next 3 are a little bit more full coverage and they have a little bit more of a matte finish, but don't let that scare you. They're so great both for under the eyes and over blemishes. The first one is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. This is so good. This is another drugstore formula that really just beats out a lot of my high-end concealer formulas. I love this because it has a little bit more of a moussey texture, and when it dries down, it looks flawless underneath the eyes. You can also use this all over the skin, but I love how it kind of blurs over pores and it doesn't settle. It wears all day. It's just such a phenomenal concealer. It looks amazing in pictures. It's just a great go-to, especially affordable formula for when you want more of a flawless T-zone or under eye area. You can also use just a little bit and use it for every day, but I specifically love to use this for more glam looks. It's a staple. I've been using it for years. I know so many of you guys love this formula as well, and for good reason. It's absolutely amazing. Next up is this one. This is from a brand called Haley's Beauty. This is their Rewind Blurring Full Coverage Concealer. I love this concealer for under the eyes. This also, just like the name, it blurs out the skin, it blurs out the under eye area. It has great coverage, but it's not super thick and heavy to where you don't want to, you know, layer it up under the eyes. A little does go a long way with this. You really don't need that much, but it really packs a punch in the coverage that it gives, and it wears so beautifully all day long. This looks amazing under the eyes specifically, and I really do like the applicator on this. It has a metal applicator, so it's very cooling under the eyes. I like to go directly onto the skin for more of an everyday look, but when it comes to more of a glam look, I actually do apply it to my hands, pick it up with a brush, and then just kind of buff it underneath the eyes to get more of a precise, blurred out, and like a certain shape under the eyes, if that makes sense. So I love this one. I also forgot to mention the applicator on this is not my favorite. With the Maybelline one, it's got a very kind of messy foam applicator that you twist up. So that's my only complaint. If this formula came in like a classic concealer tube, it would be that much better, but the formula is still good. Anyway, back to the Hailey's Beauty one. This one is so incredible, and it just really delivers when it comes to more glam looks especially. I love how it looks underneath the eyes. I don't find that it creases on me. I typically do use this one for the under eyes specifically. I don't find myself using it over blemishes, although I'm sure it would be great. But this is such a good, underrated, lesser known concealer that I feel like more people should be talking about. Last but not least, this concealer formula is life-changing. I'm obsessed with it. It's also from Nars. Nars does such a great job with complexion products in general. So many of their products work so well for me. And this is no exception. This is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. You guys, if you want airbrush skin, this is the concealer for you. A little goes a long way with this. It has a pot formula, so you do have to use a brush to apply it, but I am beyond obsessed with this. The way that it blurs out my pores, I can't even explain to you how gorgeous it looks, and it shocks me every single time I use this because my T-zone looks so flawless. I find myself reaching for this concealer specifically for special occasions and for in-person events. And I always get so many compliments on my makeup, and I swear to you it's partially because of this concealer. I just think it does such a beautiful job at naturally blurring the skin so you look airbrushed, but it doesn't look heavy or cakey on the skin. It's absolutely magical. Plus, this is an amazing, amazing concealer for blemishes. So I would suggest to get a shade or two lighter than your skin tone for under the eyes and for the T-zone to brighten. And if you do want to use it for blemishes, and this goes for any concealer formula, make sure it matches your skin tone so it doesn't emphasize or bring forward a blemish that you're trying to conceal. But this is absolute magic. I love this formula so much. Okay, so those are the 6 concealers that off the top of my head, I was just feeling like they're the best. I love them. I was going through my concealer drawers, and there's obviously so many concealers out there that are great and that I've really enjoyed in the past, but these are like my staples, my ride or dies that I feel like I would recommend to everybody. And I've used so many of these formulas for years, and I've repurchased them so many times because they just never ever fail me. They are core staples in my makeup collection. So I hope you guys found this helpful. I know I do these top videos every once in a while, but I feel like it had been a while since I had done like a concealer recommendations video from myself personally. I also wanted to make sure to mention, and I will link it down below, I have done a concealer like top 10 video where I asked you guys what your favorite concealer formulas were. A lot of these showed up in there, so I will have that video linked down below if you want to hear everybody's opinions on what's the best concealer out there, but these are just my top 6 from the ones that I've tried. If there's a concealer that you're obsessed with that I didn't mention, I would love to hear in the comments down below what you love, why you love it. And if you're like me and you have a couple of formulas, one for everyday and one for glamorous occasions, leave multiple recommendations down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing what products work for you. So be sure to leave a comment. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. I would love to hear if you guys end up trying any of these concealers that you haven't yet. I know a lot of them are classics, but if you end up picking up any of these because of this video, let me know how they end up working for you because I truly stand behind all of these formulas. They are game changers. So I hope you guys love them as much as I do. And I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.